Hello everyone, my name is James. I also go by 2x, and today we are going to have our week 1 game in the IDL season 4. This time we are going up against Infernape 27 and his Iowa Kartanas. I will put his YouTube link down in the description. So before we get into the actual game, let's go over the team. So first of all, I chose PP Stall Suicune because it just generally was a fat tank and just kind of stalled out the majority of his team. In the battle, you'd see that it does pretty much nothing, but I chose it there to just wall things. I didn't want to bring a Moongus because a Moongus is setup fodder, while Suicune actually has some way of somewhat damaging the opponent. So I decided to go Suicune instead. Subtoxic Skull Protect, Max Defense for Mega Charizard Y, or X. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, that's pretty much the Suicune set. I brought Assault Vested Kecleon this game because it's a soft check to Scizor because it just with the amount, like with its ability Protein, you never know what type it's going to be. So you don't know what move to go for. So say he expects me to knock off and he goes for Superpower. Well, I can Shadow Sneak and be completely immune to Superpower. So the mind games start happening. This is also my designated lead because I don't want Frostlass getting up spikes, and I want to get rid of Frostlass as soon as possible. And I think by leading off with Kecleon, they'll assume that I just want to get Stealth Rocks up. So I'm able to knock off and then sneak to follow it up on the Frostlass to KO it. Frostlass is an extremely big problem to my team, especially because Linoone needs Frostlass to be gone to be able to sweep at the end of the game. I also chose Choice Scarf Primeape. Because generally a fighting type just looks really good against his team. I'll just show you his team real fast.
One eternity later.
Like, he doesn't have a great fighting type answer. The only really one being Florges, Espeon, Quillfish. That's it. And all of them kind of get destroyed by some of my team members. So that's why I chose to bring Primeape, because the fighting type just dents his team entirely. As I said earlier, it's Linoone. Linoone is Linoone. Everybody know what Linoone does. It just belly drums and extreme speeds. I have return on this for Florges because an E-speed will not KO Florges. And I also have Stomping Tantrum for Stakateka. We have Gen 1 the Moltres, which is basically my Scizor check, but it's also my defogger because rocks suck in this game, so do spikes and toxic spikes. So I really need defog, and that's why I chose Moltres. Boost, defog, flamethrower, and toxic. Physically defensive with a bit of special attack investment and a bit of speed investment, just enough to outspeed max speed Scizor, I believe. And then last but not least, our other sweeper of the game is our Zygarde 50 with the Habanberry. So basically the whole ploy here was with Habanberry I would be able to tank an unboosted Outrage, and there would be a low roll for him to knock me out if it was +1 Outrage, and I can then Dragon Dance and 1,000 Arrows to barely KO this Charizard. That's why I'm adamant and not jolly. E-Speed Outrage, normal set, just the Habanberry. Thought it was cool. So, yeah, that's my team. Let's cut straight to the battle. Alright, so we have the battle up, and I'm just going to press play and kind of talk about why I chose the moves that I chose. So, obviously, I'm going to lead off with my Kecleon, as he leads off with what I expected, his Frostlass. And now that I know this Frostlass is a lead spiker, I can freely knock off. I'm assuming the taunt is coming, so I can really get this thing chipped down to 1 HP and Shadow Sneak to finish it off without it getting any spikes up on the field. It does taunt here, first turn, and I'm going to go for a knockoff. It's going to do a crap ton of damage and bring it down to Protein. I'm going to Shadow Sneak to finish off the Frostlass, and here he goes into his Nidoqueen. Now, Kecleon's usefulness in this game is done. My goal was to prevent Frostlass from getting spikes up. It did exactly that, so I'm going to try and get some damage here and gauge if this is a defensive or offensive Nidoqueen. It gets its Stealth Rocks up, which means it's definitely more of a defensive set, and I'm going to knock off his Sugar Berry. So, pretty happy that I didn't go into Zygarde there. He's going to get some chip damage, but because I'm Assault Vest Kecleon, it's going to do 0 damage. So I'm going to knock off again, and knock off these Florges. If it's Florgi or Florges, it doesn't matter. I'm going to knock off its leftovers, which will actually be extremely crucial coming into this end game. I'm going to go hard into Moltres, take some 50% Stealth Rock damage, and try and get rid of these rocks. So I do click Defog here. He goes hard into his Qwilfish. I don't want to stay in on this thing, so I'm going to go hard into my Kecleon, and as he 2-hit KOs me with Liquidation. I get a critical hit with Knockoff, and it's going to do a solid 73%. It didn't matter in the end, but I'm sorry, Infernape. Yeah, so we see he was Safety Goggles. I'm not sure really where he was going with the Safety Goggles set, maybe to prevent a burn from Moltres, but that's all I can really think of. Like, Safety Goggles is kind of awkward. Maybe a barrier is like Assault. No, not Assault Vest, like a Sash or Lefties would be better, but it is his team, which means he gets to make the choices. I'm going to click Shadow Sneak here as he goes into his Florges, and I'm just going to try and sack off my Kecleon, get some damage off with Fire Punch, as here he goes into his Charizard. I cannot let this thing set up a substitute or a Dragon Dance, so I am forced to stay in a Drain Punch, which is the the highest base power move that I have on this Kecleon. It does 33 minimum damage, which means it will always, every single time, break the substitute, and I will get some health back. So that's what I'm going to click as he does substitute. So I'm pretty happy. Kecleon did its job, so I'm happy if he knocks me out here. He reveals Dragon Claw, which is even better for me than Outrage, because Dragon Claw will do less to Zygarde. And so I'm going to go directly into my Zygarde here, looking to chip away at some things. If he goes Florges, then I still have my Habanberry intact for this Charizard. But most likely he's going to Dragon Claw me, because the calcs say it will OHKO him. But what he doesn't know is that I'm Habanberry. So he's going to click Dragon Claw, and he's going to see that I'm Habanberry, and I can get a Dragon Dance up. Now that I'm faster than Charizard, he's just going to go sack off his Nidoqueen, which I respect. And he's going to go back into his arena, which I'm forced to Outrage here. Now, this was kind of a big misplay on his part. He shouldn't have killed me immediately with Moonblast, in my opinion. So if I pull up a damage calc here. We need Linoone. So we're going to select our Linoone, and then we're going to select this Florges. We're going to go +6. Return KOs, but that is a non-invested, not really invested. Florges. So if he's bold, say, E-Speed has a chance not to KO. So I did have return on this set, but yeah, I wanted to make sure this thing stayed at as low health as possible, so stuff like Suicune and Moltres can knock it out. So in my opinion, I think he should have wished here. If I'm being completely honest, I think a wish seems like a lot better play, but I understand why, because he didn't want me getting a 2-turn Outrage. So I understand why he went for Moonblast. In my opinion, the wish is a better play, but it's his team. So I'm going to Outrage. He's obviously immune, and he's going to Moonblast to knock me out. I'm going to go into my Primate because I have no usefulness for this Primate. All of his fighting weaknesses are gone, and I'm going to try and get some chip damage off with the Primate. And this is a pivotal point in the game. I knew he was going to protect because another Stone Edge would have knocked him out. So I go hard into my Linoone, knowing that he will not Moonblast. And I'm going to set up a Belly Drum here. Now, I should have had the calc open, but Moonblast does about 50% max, so it does not KO even after Belly Drum. So I'm going to set up my Belly Drum, get my Eye Pop Berry, get some health back. Moonblast is going to do a good chunk, 65%. He's going to protect. It doesn't change anything, as I'm just going to return. I don't want to risk the speed time like a Charizard, so I'm going to Extreme Speed, knock it out there, and his last is the Qwilfish, which can't really touch me. Return will easily knock it out. And your Toronto Swablu Jays absolutely the win. We are second in our division now, because this guy won 5-0. So overall, I'm pretty happy. We got a nice 4-0 win, and we started off the season. Good start. So look forward next week to another battle. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Please subscribe.